Paul was also known as the bishop. The reason was bishop, but I think I lost in time somewhere. I'm sure it's not about a religious thing. I first met Paul in 1967 when he worked at BHP's Sydney office along with Stuart Thompson. He and Stuart at that time managed to convince BHP management that they should be given 2 years of leave of absence to do some travelling. And that sounded like a really good idea. I was
Bit louder.
I was in Newcastle at the time, and it was also on the way to leave of absence. So at the very beginning of 1968, Paul and Stuart and myself set sail on the MRR from Sydney heading towards London. Now, there were a few interruptions along the way, not the least of which was stopping in Melbourne, going into the BHP office, where about 150 people seemed to come down to the ship for lunch. Before staggering back to sign their money. I think Peter Bond might have been amongst them. Anyway, en route to London, the ship stopped at Durban, and we left the ship by a combi van and decided to drive across to Cape Town. Paul was quite nervous about this to the extent that he required a tyre lever to be close to him at all times in case the natives come to arrest him. I'm off to counselling tomorrow, by the way. So when we got to London, we settled into a one-room flat, a one-bedroom flat in Willesden Green. And almost exactly at this time, 56 years ago, Easter 1968, three of us headed off, plus friend Carolyn, down to the West Country to discover the jewels of Devon, Cornwall and Strumpy. And Paul, Carolyn wished to be remembered to you. I was in contact with her a few weeks ago and she remembers you very well. When Paul returned to Australia, he was posted to Adelaide and he developed quite a significant wine cellar. And it was actually a proper cellar. This was all very lovely until there was a bit of unseasonal rain in Adelaide, flooded the cellar, the labels either floated off or became totally unrecognisable, which led to a lot of mystery wine tastings afterwards. So then Paul moved to Melbourne to marketing. And my wife and myself used to play bridge with Paul on Sunday afternoons. It's what you could only call drinking bridge. And once again, Paul, was a message for you from the lady who used to play bridge with you, Liz Duffy, 55 years ago. Wishes you a happy birthday. So despite not being a Victorian, like many of us do today, Paul established himself in Butler, or as he used to refer to it, the Athens of the South. That was many years ago. Many of you know that he's a very keen philatelist with quite a significant stamp collection, which has been a very good excuse for a lot of international travel to go to stamp fairs around the world. He's also been a lifelong rugby fan, and one stage he was the coach of a group of Melbourne ladies playing touch rugby, a group he used to refer to as my girls.
When they won.
He's one of the girls. He's another girl.
Paul's always enjoyed his wine and lunches. For many years he's been part of a group we've met on a monthly basis. Steve Morris and myself and a couple of people who come here today, Fred King and Peter Aldridge. Paul, I think, we've been extremely lucky to have Chris here. We all appreciate, Chris, just how much work you put into today to make it a successful afternoon. So thank you for that, and as you all charge your glasses and drink to Paul and wish him happy 80th birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you, Scott, very, very much. Tim?
Well, my job is to talk about Paul and rugby. Met Paul in the old Collegians Rugby Club, a very special rugby club in Adelaide. Probably the best time of our lives over there. And it's fair, Paul became president. And given that it was a club with more than its fair share of eccentrics, this seemed very appropriate. I mean, those who know Paul, of course, will know about Butlerisms. These are terms of speech. Quite right. Not on. Certainly not. Bundy's on Sundays. Legendary. And then there's putting in a shocker. Years ago we were up at the Rutherglen Winery Walkabout, and they used to have a lot of buses there with very enthusiastic imbibers, so to speak. Anyway, on this one particular bus, Jono, get back on the bus, we want to piss off. Jono! But said, Jono's putting in a shocker. Which our son thought was hilarious to this day. There was another occasion too, a phrase, more flavours. This came about at a legendary lunch at Paul's place in St Peters in Adelaide. We were actually at the lunch, a couple of us turned up after, and Paul would be seen disappearing down the cellar stairs for more flavours. More flavours. So many flavours, in fact, that I ended up lost in the Adelaide Hills. Trying to get home. Years ago also, when I first came to Melbourne, I stayed at Paul's flat. He used to like to call it flat because I think the body corporate would have preferred apartment. So he would really like to get up their noses with that one, I think. Anyway, he was away for a period, and I decided I better clean the place up a bit. And when I was showing off the work that I'd done in the kitchen, when he came back, he said, "You've rubbed off all my marks. All my marks for my cooking." So he had little grease marks around the dial, so this one would be for pies and this one would be for...
That's right.
Not highly successful. And that was a pretty special place, I must say, the art deco of it. And you could only come in through the back door because the entrance hall had the photocopier for the Victorian Touch Association in it. It was impassable. It's fair to say that, you know, these are fairly eccentric traits, wouldn't you say? And there was another thing too, that he used to go wine tasting with my wife Barbara and a couple of other people at Dan Murphy's every Friday, wasn't it? And then he would go shopping, and Paul would only ever buy Vegemite. The interesting thing about Vegemite and Paul is that he had a special way of dealing with how you get the Vegemite out. Open cut mining. You take it from the edge and you end up with this in the middle. Curious. When Barbara got sick, Paul would come again every Friday by train over to us at Flemington and spend the afternoon with her. And for that, we're very grateful for all that we've known and cherish about you, old boy. Cheers and beers. Another.
Thanks so much, Jim.
Hey everyone, for those that don't know me, I'm Melanie, Chris's daughter. On behalf of Mum and Paul, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today to celebrate Paul's 80th birthday. Paul selected only the people that mean the most to him to be here today and share this milestone with him, and that's all of you. Today marks 80 laps around the sun for you, Paul, and it's not just a day to celebrate and drink wine together, but also a time to reflect on the incredible journey you've undertaken so far. From your earliest days growing up in Sydney to this very moment in Melbourne, you've achieved so much over the last 8 decades. Your successful career at BHP, your rugby days, your incredible and over-the-top stamp collection, the many trips around the world and friendships you've made along the way, the family holidays with us down the peninsula, Queensland, New South Wales, and your regular boys' lunches, the numerous bottles of red wine, both collected and consumed. I think we can all agree it's been a pretty amazing 8-year adventure so far. But the memories don't stop today. There's plenty of excitement for what lies ahead over the next decade for you. So let's raise our glasses and toast to the birthday boy. May this day be a celebration of all that you are and all that you have accomplished so far, and may the years ahead be filled with even more laughter, joy, friendship, good wine, and cherished moments. Happy birthday, Paul.
Thank you. Speech is over. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, we do now, but I've got to bring the cake out. I didn't want to bring it out with the sun, but I can bring it out now. And I need a knife.